Welcome, everybody. John Zager. Good afternoon, I believe. Yeah, it's 12:16 here in Colorado. Bright and sunny day. Yay. Golly. Rain stopped. We had 4 days of it. No rain in the forecast for a while. I'm going to, turn on the air conditioner a little bit. What is it here today? 68 right now. Supposed to get up into the low 80s, I believe. Looking forward to that. Sitting in my little park. Quite a few people here today. Some sitting on the ground. Oh, these are those people that are... No, they're different people. So, the topic today is around mental health. I got some better earbuds in today so that there's better clarity in hearing what I'm saying. And I, in turn, can also hear better when I put things like YouTube on and what have you. But they fall out. So I'm going to be messing with them today for a while, and I hope they don't cause a whole lot of noise or commotion while I'm talking about other stuff. But so mental health and sometimes you have control over that. There are certain mental health diagnoses that are chemical. They're just chemical. Bipolar is chemical. So, depression, some parts of it are chemical imbalances. When you get into psychosis, you kind of get into more chemical imbalances that cause various mental health issues and personalities. You have psychosis, neurosis, personality disorder. Those are the three big ones, right? Personality disorders are generally, you have some control over that and what you do with it. How severe you may allow it to get or not. Neuroses are the same thing. We're not really talking about chemical imbalances, in the body, brain. For the most part, people have some control over neuroses. And of course, psychosis, then, it's a different thing because we are talking chemical stuff. I need to put out, first of all, I'm not a psychiatrist. I've worked in clinical psychology for 38 years, and I've worked in clinical psychology and neuroscience for 43 years. And I've seen a lot of people, thousands and thousands of people. And I've seen every diagnosis there is in mental health, from the most severe to maybe not so much. But the topic today has to do with mental health and how much control we have over it in relationship to self-healing. All right? So I want to make that distinction. There is a distinction here, and I'm not trying to talk about all mental health disorders, because I'm not. Some, many, have chemical imbalances that are directly related to the cause. And we're not talking about those. What we are talking about is personality disorders of such, right? Some of the neurosis. If a person is depressed, right, they classify it kind of this way. You know, you have chronic depression if you've had 3 major bouts with depression in your life. 3 major times that were lengthy, noteworthy, and you could not get yourself out of the depressed mood for a long, long period of time. You need three significant bouts with that, and then it becomes chronic, and you know, it kind of gets put in a different category, right? For a lot of people, depression is not uncommon, yeah? So, people get depressed over this, that, and the other thing, and it happens for a few days. You know, that's a mood. Happens for a few weeks, right? And it can happen for several months, and even go into years. How much of that do you have control over? So, if somebody does something to you that you don't like and hurts your feelings, and it might have been somebody who was close to you, and it bums you out, right? And you kind of get sad and maybe depressed about it. You have control over that. You have control over that. How far you let the depression go and how deep you allow the depression to go becomes your choice at that point. That makes sense? If you seem to allow the event to allow you to be depressed for a long period of time, that falls into a choice category, right? So if you become depressed over an event that happened a week ago or 10 days ago, that's you making the decision to allow the depression to go on. Okay? And if it goes on for several months, you know, your mood becomes somewhat depressed overall, that's a choice you're making for various reasons. I mean, they can be good and bad reasons, right? I mean, there's a lot of gain out of being depressed, for instance. There's secondary gains. Some people will be more attracted to you to try to fix you, to try to help you, to try to console you. You know, so there's some secondary gains out of that. And staying in that depressed mood, you can get some mileage out of that. Now, the mileage is not healthy. It's not adult. It's not straight up. It's not honest. It's kind of a backdoor approach to getting what you need as a result of your depressed mood, right? What's another one? Anxiety. So anxiety is very, very common in the world that we have today, you know, with all the stress and everything. Anxiety is looking in the future and anticipating something negative to happen. It's not going to turn out the best way. You're pulling off of past episodes or events, and they didn't go very well, so now you have a similar event coming up in the future, and you're already anticipating a worse outcome. Anxiety, right? You have an awful lot of control over anxiety. Same thing. I mean, you can allow the anxiety to go on for, because of an event that you're anticipating, it could go on for weeks and months. And, there's personality disorders that are related to having anxiety over years. Generalized anxiety disorder just being one. So the point I guess I'm trying to make is that when we're talking about self-healing, there's a lot of things that can get in our way of the healing to happen. And one of those may be not having a grasp on your emotions. And being more preoccupied with feeling depressed and staying in that state rather than making some changes so that the depression is no longer there and you can go on with your self-healing. Same's true with anxiety. We can get so preoccupied with anxiety that it takes away from the healing power, to get rid of various things that we're working on, maybe a disease, an illness, a sickness, or whatever it happens to be. So we have a lot of control over this stuff, and we almost get addicted. We do get addicted sometimes to our emotions. When you get up in the morning, you have a choice. You have a choice to go find the negative emotions that you had yesterday and the day before and the week before and the month before and so on, and then fall into that mood or temperament or personality and stay focused and occupied on that and not the healing. Absolutely. A lot of people who send out intentions to the universe and nothing ever seems to happen, right? They never come back. They never find them. They might visualize and design themselves in the future and their world, but nothing ever happens because the first thing they do when they get up is they go find the addiction to the emotional, negative emotion that they're addicted to. The depression or the anxiety or the anger, the bitterness, the resentfulness. Go on down the list. The jealousy. I haven't said that word in a while. I don't think of that much. Or you get over the addiction to the emotion, the mood, the temperament, the personality, and then you go on with your healing. I'm not all that sure that people are real anxious to go do that. I see more people willing to hang on to and not give up their emotion, their negative emotions, their depression, their anxiety, for instance, their mood, their temperament, their personality. I see them more willing to save that at any cost than to go down the road with self-healing. I know that seems contrary, and I know there's a few of you out there thinking about, come on, John, everybody wants to heal and be well and, all that kind of stuff. Of course they do. But there's a lot of people that are sick, emotionally and physically, and they don't want to give it up. They don't want to give it up. So a couple examples. See if I can remember them both. I run into people regularly nowadays that have grave physical problems. They have a disease or diseases. And they're getting treatment, but kind of not. The treatment they're getting may actually be making things worse. The side effects to the medication may be causing further complications. But when you go up to talk to them, boy, they just are able to run off a list of all their diseases and how terrible the treatment is, as far as, they're not finding any cure for me, and the medication is just making things worse. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people out there, you guys, that don't want to be well. That don't want to be well. There's a lot of people out there who want to keep their diseases. I don't say that with disrespect. I mean, I really don't. I'm not saying that. But they have an addiction to their disease because they're getting mileage out of it. I know that doesn't make sense to anybody, but here's the second example, is that 38 years clinical psychology. How many thousands of people have I seen that did not want to give up their addiction, so to speak? Their mental health issues, the drama, the trauma, the depression, the anxiety, the suicidal thinking. The narcissistic personality, avoidant personality. In 38 years, I don't know how many thousands of people individually I saw, let alone in groups. I have no idea. I've never sat down to figure it out. And the majority of those people, I don't know, let's just pick a number. Let's say it's 10,000. 7,000 of those people did not want to get well. They were more interested in keeping their mental health or emotional issues. They got more mileage off of it. Secondary gains. People do things for secondary gains. Being sick allots you secondary gains. People will pay attention to you. Think about it. People will pay attention to you if you're sick. There are those personality disorders where those kinds of people want to come and help you. Call them codependents. You know, they look for sick people. Codependent personality disorder. They'll walk miles with you, giving you secondary gains and enabling your sickness. So who's worse, the patient or the person trying to help the sick person by enabling them? Which is worse? Well, that's not the point. The point is, who wants to get well? Neither. Neither one of them want to get well. Both of them want to keep their personality disorders. Typical example, codependent wife. Wife goes out, young lady, finds a somewhat attractive man, comes to find out he's a drinker. She decides that she can fix his drinking and they can live happily ever after. They both have a disease that neither one is willing to give up. And there's all kinds of side things that happen, you know. Sometimes the abuse to the woman happens, and that's a whole another set of dynamics and syndrome, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. It can be man-man. I mean, there can be, I don't know, take an older gentleman that just, you know, wants to help the world. Somehow got it crossed over with religious beliefs and believes that he's doing it in service to God. Whew. Talk about the neurons getting connected the wrong way. The synapses are connected the wrong way. We need to unprune that stuff, take it apart, get rid of that thinking, and separate religion and separate enabling, making people more sick. But neither one is going to happen because both people, the older gentleman and the people, all the people, hundreds of people that he probably helps, I mean, to give that up. Sorry, you guys. Somebody called in. It's in the afternoon. I declined it, so my apologies on that. So we have control of our emotions. We really have control of our emotions. How badly do you want to not have your disease? How badly do you not want to have your disease? It's kind of what it boils down to. What's it worth to you? What's it worth? Your depression. When you wake up in the morning, there is absolutely no reason for you to look for depression. You don't have to look for depression. There are things out there called happiness and wellness and joyfulness. How else would I explain this to you guys? We just have a choice when we get up in the morning. We have a choice all day long. We have a choice to entertain negative thinking or positive thinking. We have a choice to entertain depressed moods, anxious moods, bitter moods, resentful moods, jealous moods. Or we could be happy. We can sit in a park. We can sit in this park right here. This is a beautiful little park. There's a road up there, but it's out of the distance, you know. I mean, you can see the cars going by, big deal. But this is a beautiful, beautiful little park. It's got this big boulder they stuck down here, and this other boulder, and then they carved it into the shape of a fish. A sand lot for the kids to play in. Huge lake. Pathway, you could walk all the way around the lake and do your walking meditations. And again, when you're doing your walking meditations, it's not about trying to process the negative stuff going on in your life. It's not about that. Go take your walking meditation as if you're already healed. Do not allow a single negative thought or chemical, which is the emotion, to enter into your mind. Not a single one during your walking meditation. Whatever happened to smiling? How many people smile anymore? You ever go in a grocery store, you're a man, and you go in a grocery store and there's some attractive women. Of course, there's a lot of attractive women out there. But you see an attractive woman and you sort of walk a couple steps in that direction because she's attractive. And you might even say, good gosh, I can't believe I'm going to say this. You might even say, hello, how are you? And she freaks out because she's caught up in the emotion, the chemical, that kind of behavior is bad. Where's the smile? Hi, how are you? And walk on by. Go on with your shopping. That's an obvious one. That one's out there all day long. As long as you want to be in public, that one's out there all day long. It's personality disorders in the women. Personality disorders. Bad beliefs, old beliefs that women have that it's their fault in having. Shame on you. Get over it. Get over yourself. You're not that outstanding of a beauty. I cannot believe how people hang on to the negative stuff. It's just remarkable. Just utterly remarkable. That people would rather be sick and unhealthy and hang on to their addictions of the various moods and beliefs and perceptions that they have than to be happy. There's no reason to think and feel that way. Thinking and feeling produces your mood. So that's my podcast for today. Very, very clear. Very clear. The rest of your afternoon ought to be the happiest time of your day today. Assuming you didn't have a great happy day, happy morning. I'm guessing that people might have been in their mood, their temperament, their personality. John, how come the program isn't working? How come my athlete's feet has not gone away? Drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. Maybe that's why nobody calls me to do coaching with them. I'm just very direct, you guys. I'm very direct about this stuff. There is no reason to be unhappy. There is absolutely no reason to be sick. There is absolutely no reason to have a disease. You should not have old beliefs and perceptions that are no longer worthwhile. Do not get addicted to your emotions. Do not get addicted to your sickness, to your disease, to your illness. So, it's a beautiful afternoon here. I've got a few more appointments this afternoon I'm looking forward to. I get to talk to a couple different people I haven't seen in a while. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to make it a good afternoon. I'm going to make it a good day. And I'm not addicted to my moods. You know, do I get an occasional mood here and there for an hour or two? Yeah, sure. I'm like everybody else. But I'm not bringing it through the rest of my day. I got other things to do. I just have other things to be doing. So, I'm probably over my minute. Anyway, as always, some, I guess, housekeeping. If I'm self-supporting through you guys, I don't have other work or jobs that I do other than the coaching and the consulting when that happens. Yay. Please sign up. Would love to come and do some speaking engagements for people. Would love to do some workshops for small groups of people here and there. Put your nickels, dimes, quarters, dollars into my PayPal account, which is jzegar@gmail.com. JZEGAR@gmail.com. That's how you can get money in my PayPal account. Please do that. Please do that. So, God bless everybody. Take care of one another, and I'll look forward to talking to you all again real soon. See you. Bye.